Hey, thanks for joining Max Muscle Davis County today. My name is James, and I'm going to continue our educational series, Nutrition 101. And today we're going to help educate you a little bit on what macros are, or macro counting. I'm sure you've heard it before. Someone says, hey, I'm doing macros, or I'm counting my macros, or someone did my macros. Well, what does that really mean? It means that somebody took the time to help this person or your friend or whoever it was understand how many grams of protein, grams of carbs, and grams of fat that they need in order to get the best result. Now, if it was that simple, anybody could pick up, anything off the internet and just start following and get results. It's a little more complicated than that, and what we'd like to do with this video is just kind of break it down fairly simply so that if you choose to macro count, you can kind of get an idea on how to do that. Of course, if you want our help, we're very precise in what we do. We have a great track record of helping people get the results through what we call a macro blueprint. But that's for another time. So let's just briefly discuss here. So counting macros is similar to counting calories because you can't have one without the other. Okay? If I eat a carbohydrate, I'm going to get a certain amount of calories. If I eat some protein, I'm going to get a certain amount of calories and fats as well. Now, where those calories are coming from and how my body responds to those calories is where the difference lies. If I were to eat a 2,000 calorie diet, and let's say that I know that is exactly how much I need to eat to lose 1 pound of fat a week, and I got all those calories from carbohydrate sources. So if I was eating rice and quinoa, those are great options, but not something you want everything to be based on. Oats, maybe some fruits, some vegetables. My body's going to treat those calories quite differently once they're in the body. So carbohydrates are basically made up of several molecules of sugar. And as our body breaks those down, basically the result is sugar in the bloodstream. Sugar is the preferred source, or glucose, if you will, is the preferred source of our body for multiple functions. It works very effectively in the body, and when done right, our body will have the energy it needs to survive and to do all its functions without gaining body fat. Now here's the problem. If I overeat carbohydrates, my body has the greater tendency of storing the excess as body fat, and that's why we need to be careful with carbohydrates. Now with that same scenario, if I chose to just eat 2,000 calories from protein, I'd be eating a lot of meat, a lot of say eggs, a lot of things of that nature. Now what's going to happen is my body's going to have a completely different result from eating the protein. Still 2,000 calories, but very different ones in the body. Protein, unlike carbohydrates, are made of what we can refer to as amino acids. Amino acids are the building block of most things in your body, whether it be muscle tissue, organ tissue, enzymes, hormones. Pretty much anything structural that you need in your body to perform a function comes from protein. So if I'm eating protein, my body is not getting the primary fuel source. So it has to work harder to convert some of those amino acids into exactly glucose, which we discussed prior. So our body can do that. It can take a protein and make it into a carbohydrate. It's a complex process that we won't get into. But it's not very effective at doing that, so our body tends to lack energy. If you've ever known anybody that went on a high protein, no carb diet, they probably felt pretty lethargic and had a hard time exercising and having a lot of motivation. I don't recommend just going straight protein and fat and no carbs. There are some people that have done fairly well with that. I recommend more of a balanced approach. Now that we've discussed protein, let's talk about fats. In the 70s, fats were extremely demonized, saying, oh, if you eat fat, you're going to get fat. That is not true. Eating fat, eating protein, and eating excess carbs, that will lead to fat gain. Eating good healthy fats like olive oil, avocados, even coconut oil, and to an extent some egg yolks are going to provide our body with another form of energy. Our body can use free fatty acids fairly easily for energy, and it also provides structure for healthy cells. And I've gone over this in some of our other videos that are more specifically about those three macros. But understanding that fat takes 3 to 5 hours to fully be broken down into molecules that can be absorbed into the bloodstream makes a big difference. So if I eat 2,000 calories of avocado, trust me, my body's going to have a hard time coping with that much fat. The idea here then is to find out how many grams of carbs I need to have energy to do everything I need to, how many grams of protein I need to make sure that I am building healthy lean tissue, that I'm keeping muscle, and that I'm making hormones and enzymes, and how much fat do I need to consume to make sure that my body is able to burn fat freely, not feeling like it's being deprived, and that it can have healthy cells so that I have vitality. So that is what macro counting is finding out, first off, if I know I need a 2,000 calorie diet to lose a pound of fat, well, I need to know how many grams of carbs, proteins, and fats I need to achieve that goal or to hit that 2,000. So while counting calories is good, knowing where those calories come from is much more important. Finally, let's just drive this point home. This is the easiest way for me to describe it. If I told you that you owed me 100 coins and you didn't know what I meant by that, you might give me 100 pennies. Well, I meant that I needed X amount of, quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies. So completely different thing. If I just tell you to eat 2,000 calories a day, you may or may not have success depending on which, are you choosing proteins, carbs, and fats and in the right amounts. So understanding that macro counting is knowing the amounts you need to get to the 100 coins, if you will, is 10 times more important than just getting the 100 coins. So watch this video. I know it's fairly complex. I'm going to try to make more that are a little more detailed, and maybe I can get into the details without going too long. But if you have questions, please check out our website. We have blogs, we have a lot of information, more YouTube videos. Of course, we're always at your disposal during store hours to come in and discuss options. We want to help you get results, and we want you to have vitality and health. So until next time, my name is James with Max Muscle Davis County, and hit subscribe if you'd like to get updates when they become available. Have a great night.